Good evening. We begin CBS 2 News at 11 with breaking news. A hit-and-run crash in San Gabriel. A mother and child hit and taken to a hospital.
And Stu Mundell is live in Sky 2 with the very latest on this tragic story tonight. Stu.
Pat and Jeff, tragic indeed, and we understand that that mother and child taken to a local hospital in grave condition. At least that's what we're hearing from some of those witnesses down there on the ground. This happening in the city of San Gabriel on Del Mar, right at the intersection of Live Oak. Now, as we said earlier, that mother and child hit, and then that vehicle fled the scene. This is a crime scene right now, and an investigation is ongoing. This is happening in the city of San Gabriel on Del Mar. They're going to have a large portion of Del Mar shut down while this investigation is ongoing. It's going to be between Hermosa and Las Tunas. Live in Sky 2, I'm Stu Mundell. Back to you two in the studio.
All right, thank you for that, Stu. Now, a Florida man is now the prime suspect in the string of pipe bomb mailings targeting high-profile Democrats. Agents are now combing over evidence, including his van, which is plastered with stickers blasting Democrats. Now, several of the mail bombs were sent to California leaders.
CBS 2's Randy Page is live in South Los Angeles. He's at that postal facility where a pipe bomb was found Wednesday. Randy.
That's right, and Jeff, there are thousands of parcels inside this postal facility right now. We've been watching postal workers coming through this 24/7 facility. Today, the FBI director said it's important to keep a close eye on all of the packages going through the mail because there could be more pipe bombs inside some of this mail. So that's.
They uncovered a latent fingerprint from one of the envelopes containing an IED. We have confirmed this fingerprint is that of Cesar Sayak.
The 56-year-old former pizza delivery man and strip club worker is a resident of Florida, but was born in New York. He's a registered Republican with a criminal record that includes arrests for threatening to use a bomb, felony theft, drug possession, and fraud. The mugshots from his various arrests trace a life of crime from the time he was much younger until today. While Sayak was being transported inside this black SUV, investigators were taking his white van into evidence, which has images critical of CNN on display, as well as other Democratic leaders, and images supporting President Donald Trump. Professor Brian Levin is the director of the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at Cal State University, San Bernardino. Says this is a time to be vigilant, particularly in these final days leading up to the midterm elections.
When we have violent statements in the political realm, it can be like a magnet for those who are dangerous and have certain kinds of emotional or psychological issues.
And in Washington, D.C. today, FBI Director Christopher Wray echoed those sentiments, saying what we often hear here in Los Angeles, that is, if you see something, say something. Live in South Los Angeles, Randy Page, CBS 2 News.
Randy, thank you. Deputies are looking for two suspects involved in a hit-and-run in Victorville. A Chevy Camaro crashed head-on into a Nissan pickup truck on Dos Palmas Drive just before noon. Witnesses say the driver and passenger ditched the Camaro and then took off in another car. The driver of the pickup truck was rushed to a hospital, had only minor injuries. The two suspects were last seen wearing red T-shirts.
A deadly mystery in Marietta now. Deputies found the body of a mother in the burned-out garage of her home.
The fire spread to another part of the house.
And the thick black smoke could be seen for miles. The fire broke out on Tranquilla Avenue. And CBS 2 Inland Empire reporter Nicole Comstock is there live. Nicole.
Pat and Jeff, investigators have been out here in this neighborhood since 12:30 this afternoon trying to figure out what started this fire that took that woman's life. Tonight, neighbors say they are praying for that family. Intense flames shoot out of the cracks around a garage door in Marietta. You can hear fire engines racing to the burning home on Tranquilla Way. And just as they arrive, a loud explosion from the inside. Once the flames were out, investigators took photos behind white cloth where a woman was found dead in the burned debris.
I mean, that's just awful. We're definitely praying for their family and for the whole community.
Heartbroken neighbors wondered how the fire started and why the woman was unable to escape through multiple exits, the destroyed garage door in the driveway or the side door. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says the fire started at about 12:30, and once firefighters had it out, deputies searched the home and found the woman dead in the garage. They say fire arson investigators were then sent out and that the woman's cause of death is under investigation. But neighbors say this is the second garage fire on the same street in recent memory.
A house last year, or just a little bit over a year ago, burnt down from a battery fire in the garage.
Neighbor Adam Sparks recorded those raging flames as they destroyed this home, which happens to be just 3 houses away from the garage where the woman died Friday afternoon. CAL FIRE Riverside says the flames also burned part of the living space. The Red Cross is helping 1 adult and 2 teens who also live here. Family members speaking with investigators out on the cul-de-sac did not want to speak about the loved one they tragically lost.
We love living here, and it's just so sad to hear that there's some neighbors going through this.
And as soon as investigators release the cause of this fire, we'll bring you that update. Reporting live from Murrieta, Nicole Comstock, CBS 2 News.
All right, Nicole, thanks very much. A Long Beach family is pleading for help tonight. They're searching for a missing 20-year-old man who has autism. Tyus Tolliver went missing last Friday morning when he left his Long Beach home for work. Because of his autism, his speech is very limited. His family says he has the mental capacity of an 11-year-old. Tolliver's loved ones have been searching for him at LA Skid Row and in Compton.
I need Tyus. He's everything to me. He's my world. I want my baby home.
Tolliver is about 6 feet tall. He's known to ride the metro to Compton and also into downtown LA. If you think you have seen him, if you know anything, please contact the Long Beach Police Department.
Well, dramatic moments on a Frontier flight after a man starts fighting with a flight attendant, then opens the plane's door.
Come on, partner, come on now. Hey, what's his name?
Now, what you just saw was the crew and passengers pulling the man back after he managed to open a cabin door and try to get off the plane. A Frontier spokesperson said the flight was getting ready for takeoff from Cancun, bound for St. Louis, when the man said he wasn't feeling well and became agitated. After the pilot returned to the gate, the man became physical with a flight attendant, managing to open the cabin door. After Mexican police arrived, the man was taken to the hospital.
All right, so here in Southern California, of course, we're used to police chases involving cars.
Our favorite video of the night. How about police chasing on horseback?
Move, 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 move.
The New Orleans police released this video today showing what a chase looks like from the perspective of a mounted officer. This chase happened on Saturday when police were pursuing a suspicious person in the heart of the city's French Quarter. It started on busy Bourbon Street, where you heard the officer yelling at people to move as his horse picked up speed.
Look out! Look out! Look out! Look out! Look out!
Look out is right. The officer had to yell at more people as he turned onto St. Peter's before he turned onto Royal Street. They eventually caught up with the guy, who was arrested for possession of a firearm.
Well, furious reaction is pouring in tonight after last night's David Goldstein investigation. He caught some county animal control workers slacking off while getting paid taxpayer dollars. David has more on what happened in the hours since his investigation aired.
An appalling breach of public trust. That's how one LA County supervisor characterized what we found with our hidden cameras. Animal control officers on the clock, but not working. You're supposed to be working for taxpayers, not working out in a gym, right? We caught one of them working out for hours. 4 or 5 hours at a time we've had you at your house.
No.
Another having a day-long yard sale.
Now he's going to sleep with his glasses on.
Still one more just sleeping. County animal control officers paid with your taxpayer money, but not working for many hours of the day. How about the day you had a garage sale at your house, sir? You and your wife, you were working that Saturday, weren't you? In a statement to her employees, Animal Control Director Marcia Maeda said they were troubling allegations that aired last night in a KCBS KCAL special report. She promised to launch a comprehensive investigation and put preventive measures in place, including using GPS-equipped vehicles. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger called it an appalling breach of public trust and a good example of why taxpayers lose faith in government. Barger referred what we found to the County Office of Investigations and is calling for swift disciplinary action. In the newsroom, I'm David Goldstein, CBS 2 News.
Coming up next, data breach for local Girl Scouts. Thousands could be affected.
We'll tell you what you need to know.
Also, a different kind of road hazard. Drivers are forced to dodge a massive cable spool as it rolls through traffic along a busy highway.
Hey everybody, I'm Garth. Kept fog behind us. No fog warnings though. Your forecast coming up.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.